Here's I'm going over the update of the Warner's Dead Warriors Den. It appears there's going over the testing grounds in the crossplay phase. It seems like we're gonna have the crossplay phase, you know, for Xbox and PS4 on October the 20th. So next month, probably a good little 2 weeks in a couple of days. Probably 2 weeks, yeah. Well, a good little 2 weeks in a couple of days. A new is this the armor variation for Hitakori?
I'm so
okay, new dodge attack. So the Jorn got a dodge attack. The Tyrion got a dodge attack. Oh, let's go.
Max is a video, gorgeous video that show you what the dodge attack
is. That a side light?
So
a dodge light?
They're except for Highlander, they're all done with the light attack. Light.
Oh, this is the one. This is the one. This is the one that everybody, most characters need, a side attack dodge. So wherever somebody can get out of situations like mainly the majority of the old characters, bro.
They're all 600 ms. They're all done 300 ms into the dodge. The lights are all enhanced.
This is that is great. That is great.
For Highlander,
give them something, man. Give them something.
Defensive stance. For Highlander,
the Highlander side attack. It's looking good.
Defensive stance, you have like shorter recoveries for your dodge attack.
Yo, the Jordan, Tyrion, Black Party, Warlord, and Highlander got side dodges attacks, bro. That is.
They also all have
that is definitely what they needed. Well, majority of Tyrion mains.
You'll notice that they don't have like huge hitboxes, big trajectories, all that sort of stuff. That's because we designed them on purpose to be usable and be good at dealing with bashes specifically. But not necessarily be really good dodge attacks in the sense of I'm going to be target swapping them and doing all those
look at that, bro. That is beautiful. Beautiful.
This is literally just to make sure that these heroes are able to efficiently deal with bashes. Even though Black Pirate could from neutral, when you're in chains, you couldn't really go into bulwark. So
that is good, bro. I just hope they can change,
but not be the best dodge attacks in the game, so that they're a little bit riskier to use because they're on light inputs most of the time. And so we want to take the direction a little bit that makes a bit of sense.
Awesome. Very excited to be bringing dodge attacks, especially for like Centurion and like Highlander.
Yes, Josie.
Many Reddit threads that I have seen. So
we're doing a lot of changes.
Zone attack costs for Warding, Warlord, Berserker, Kensei, Shigoki, and Zenyu now cost 30 stamina.
Lower stamina cost for the zone attacks. If you're here with not listed,
maybe the first one to the second one.
We did a lot of changes here, so we're gonna get to them eventually. But that's kind of the idea here. We wanted to lower the cost for all of these on attack to make sure that they're not you're not wasting half your stamina every time you use them, right? So
which is good.
Warden for Zanhu, those are very big buffs. For some other heroes, it's still a bit less, but it's still like it's a bit better. And we didn't go with a really completely standard route.
So every hit that the Centurion does in his zone is 12, 12, 12.
Sometimes it's better that they're 30 because they're faster, they have properties. At 20 because they can be fast with no properties. For multi-hit zones,
what is Carson's zone? It looks so weird. Carson's zone looks so weird.
Beautiful, lots of
numbers.
But we also have some specific changes for some heroes we also want to go through.
Warding, Warlord, Berserker, Orochi, Hitakari.
Orochi and Hitokiri. We have like very small quality
500.
But still very useful.
Warlord updated trajectories for movement for board and blade. Berserker now has 130 HP. Up from they buff him his health.
Warlord has updated trajectories and for movement on for board and blade.
Orochi side heavy finisher are now 700 milliseconds down from 800. Wow.
Step forward a little bit
more. Side heavies. Wow. So they made it more faster. Make the side heavies more faster. Hitakori charge heavy attack now costs 12 stamina down from 25. That was a lot of stamina cost for doing that.
Should be good. Orochi's side heavy finishers are now.
He's going to be in more in the game.
The idea here is that we want players to actually use Orochi's side heavy finishers in group fights. They already have huge trajectories. They're very good. But at 800 ms, they were a little bit too slow. So at 7, we're hoping that they're going to be a little more useful. And on top of that,
that's what, bro, they're messing with most of the cast of the characters. This is good.
A bit more things. So I'm really looking forward to see how that pans out for that.
I see that they mess with Lucia. Question is, did they fix her side deflect attack?
Now cost 12 stamina. They used to cost 25. Before the CCU, those attacks specifically did not have an additional stamina cost when they were parried. That's why they used to cost 25. Now that all those things are removed, we've decided to like revert that change back, and now they cost 12. Gives a bit more stamina economy for Takiri. Should be really good down the line for this year.
There's a lot that's coming with this, but now we have even more deep dive, even more granular.
Bro, they messing with all the characters.
Details. We're starting with Peacekeeper.
More. Yeah,
More.
Okay, they really went in with this one. If they touching every character, they really went. They really went in with this
You
one.
can now cancel the recovery into a dodge from 2 to 3.
Dagger cancel can now cancel recovery into a dodge. Wow.
Static at 333. So this should help Peacekeeper actually do more dagger cancels and be able to dodge out of it, give her a bit more safety in group fights. And then we have, they're a little bit like, it might be a bit hard to understand right now, but basically what we've been doing for dashing thrust and the throws together is that we adjusted the time that you can perform a dashing thrust when you're doing a front dodge. So it's from 3 to 5, and it used to be static at 2 to 5.
200 milliseconds less recovery. All sides can now be canceled into a dodge during recovery.
The intent here is that
wow.
you be able with a Peacekeeper to throw somebody,
movement
get them to walk
on all
back,
neutral, chain and finisher
every single
attacks.
time without having
Wow.
to do much about
So
positioning,
Peacekeeper going to be hitting you a lot
timing,
more
all
now.
that stuff. So it should be a lot more consistent to land now. Then we have the only nerf in the entire patch, which is the stabs after a guard break for Peacekeeper. They used to deal 38, which was way too high. So we've adjusted the bleed damage, a bit of how it works there, and it now deals 28. It's still above the curve because you're spending more stamina, you get all that stuff, you get a little bit more stuff there. But at the end of the day, like, it's a lot more.
They is messing with all.
We've also increased our forward movement on every single one of our chain and finisher attacks. You used to be able to backwalk her a little bit, and it was like she had a hard time sometimes reaching you. So with these changes, it should be a lot easier for her to really keep the pressure and stay in. We've also updated the trajectory for the zone attacks for the first strike, so it matches the weapon a lot better. The trajectory is a bit bigger. It's not like it's less angled, so it works better. And finally, this one's a big one for crossbow feet, which is your tier 3 feet. It has a pretty short cooldown, and it used to deal 25 damage straight up, right? Which was still good. But now what we changed it to do is it deals 15 direct damage and 10 bleed damage over 10 seconds. So it still deals 25, but that bleed damage there is super important. It really lets her open up her kit.
So crossbow speed now deals 15 direct damage and 10
with other bleed heroes, and it's a lot easier to land that. You can go, like,
kind of scary.
That's a lot
not to most tank characters. That's not too scary if the Shigoku get hit by that. You know, the Ball Daddies, the Shigokis, the Hitakoris probably, the Jorms, Highlanders, Warlords, those, you know, the big heavy buff guys. JJ, probably not mess with JJ that much. That if he's in the right, you know, amount of health. You know, majority of his characters in the right amount of health.
Some external opponents. That should work.
Or certain characters who got feats and they can just heal themselves while they get infected by the bleed, so that, you know, reduce it or make it like what, maybe like 5 or 6 seconds less of doing your health.
And because of that, we've also had,
you know, find some different, you know, tactic way. Lawbringer, bro, increase forward movement of all light and all side attacks, side heavy attacks.
It's going to be a little bit easier to do these parry punch.
Update trajectories of all sides. Wow, dude.
Can't say, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, I had to go back. Increase input window for parry follow-ups. Impaling ropees is now 800.
Beautiful.
Kind of slow.
Can't say, right?
Update chain, link timing for chain lights. Top heavy finish, 200 milliseconds. Whoa!
You could before just always, every time you saw unblockable, just roll away and deal with everything.
So we've done a couple of changes. 1100 milliseconds and now soft feints to counter guard break.
The attack itself has been sped up 1100 ms and now soft feints instead of fast guard break. And there's also increased forward movement on top of your finisher. This means that now if your opponents used to roll on reaction to you throwing that type of finisher, you can now just hit guard break, catch them with the fast guard break, get them
nice.
And it helps Kensei provide a lot more pressure this way. And
they really messing with majority of the whole cast.
I may have to play. I don't really play.
Oh Lord!
I may have to jump on after these.
Yeah, it's an interesting difference there. Yeah.
Whoa! Look what they do to Nobushi.
Well, I see a lot here for Nobushi.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Nobushi, it looks like a lot, but it's not. you'll see it's relatively simple. We've updated the trajectories for all of our side heavy openers and finishers. Again, they didn't really match the weapon swings, so with this you'll be able to hit people better externally, so that works. Side Cobra Strike, which are side dodge lights, they're now 533 MS. They used to be 6, and they now have iframes. So they're actual good dodge attacks now. They're not, you don't need to like delay them, make sure you do them at the right timing when you're dodging or whatever. Now they're always going to be able to have iframes, and you'll be able to do good with them. So that's very good. Their side dodge heavies are also very good, but those didn't get updated because we wanted to have a version of it that was this is the dodge attack thing, and this one is the more like zone type of thing. So that's going to be a little bit different there. Front Cobra Strike is now 500 MS instead of 6, and you can do it from 2 to 500 MS in the front dodge. It used to be stuck at 300 there, and it was 600. So with this, it also gives that to be a little bit of a better feel tool.
I touched my little desk here. I got
delay it and have like a little bit pressure, a little bit better pressure there. We've also updated all of our recovery timings, well, a bunch of them on all those listed attacks. I won't go into them, but we just wanted to normalize her recoveries because some of them were like extremely long. So when you would miss, or even if you would hit, if you didn't use the chain afterwards, you were left wide open with the Bushi. So that's like a little bit of quality of life thing there. And finally, her out of luck heavy finisher is now a left stance attack. It used to be top, so now being left means that she can actually throw it in the lane, be able to catch more enemies, more minions and stuff, and makes her like a bit better overall in the minion lanes. That should be a.
So did they mess with her?
But
her
wait,
stance in her zone when she does that.
Right. So
increase forward movement.
So we've increased the forward movement for the charge heavy openers, basically because Centurion didn't have a lot of reach, and so
yes, he did
the pressure that the character could deal from externally was like not that good, honestly.
His charge punk got more tracking. Good.
If your opponent, you pin them for a long time, you get a guaranteed out
heavy.
Works super well, so that's good.
Stance.
So with that bit of extra forward movement, it should help Centurion actually get into
at that certain amount, he won't be interruptible. He still have armor on his punch.
So we give it the warden.
So someone's gonna get knocked out.
If whenever you do a charge punch, if you fully charge it and your opponent did an early dodge attack, you should now pretty much always catch them, kind of like what Warden does. It was a bit of a problem now where you could like some characters.
Yeah, the Warden dodged up with his shield, his shoulder bash.
So it has better
tracking.
Goes up
it's pretty
faster.
far.
Actually, it's faster, and then there's like the stance, the armor kicks in a little bit earlier as well to make sure you get into a good situation here.
Nice, and then up next we have Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Front and side sucker punches now cost 12. Wow. Increased input window for his counter jab by
which was like the same number. On top of that, because they cost so much stamina and they don't guarantee direct damage afterwards, we felt like it really was time for Gladiator to have like a better side dodge bash. And we also increased the input window for counter jab, which is basically after you parry and you hit guard break. We increased the window by 400 milliseconds. It's huge. It makes a big difference here. It should be much better here. Should like the input comfort, you have a lot bigger window to hit the button. So that should feel much better here for Gladiator.
Ooh, my favorite carnivore.
Yeah, Shaman, right? So Shaman has a couple of changes. Her heavy finishers have a bit more forward movement. Again, one of those heroes that like was a bit lacking there. So target swapping or even against the same target, sometimes you could backwalk. It was a bit hard to really catch up to opponents. So with this, it should be like it should feel better. At least it's not a massive increase, right? But it still makes a bit of a difference here. Her left heavy finisher is now 900 MS. It used to be, I think, 1,000 or 1,100. I'm not sure. But you used to be able to, on reaction, see unblockable, and then your opponent would just hit light and beat you out of it every single time. Now, at 900, if your opponent mashes light after you perform the light, so Shaman does light into the finisher, and your opponent mashes light in between.
I feel like
you're gonna trade with Shaman. Which means that Shaman's gonna win the trade because she deals a lot more damage with those heavy finishers than a neutral light. But still, it's something we're trying out here.
Freaking Black Fire got a side attack, Highlander, Tyrion, and freaking bro, that is good for them, bro. Even Warlord got a side attack, bro. Which is good. Get them something. But wait, what about Law Daddies? I mean, we got side shoulder, but that don't mean nothing.
That's dodge forward heavy, and Predator's Mercy and Hunger, which are dodge forward bash, right? So the idea here is that dodge forward or dodge back is that you could do like dodge forward heavy and then tap guard break while that was going. she stops, puts her weapons away, and then keeps going forward. So you could switch between the two kind of different attacks. But when doing that, it would actually cost you stamina. And so because you've already paid the stamina up front once, we felt like that wasn't really necessary anymore. So we've decided to remove it. Gives her again.
It's a stamina penalty when switching
so
from Wildcat
more
Rage
free to be able to
Predator's
use that little
Mercy
bit of a mix up there more often.
and Predator's Hunger. Black Prior increased the Tenebrous
Black Prior,
thrust.
right? So
forward
we've increased Tenebrous
Sprint
thrust
attack is
for
now
movement.
7
That's
seconds,
heavy.
deals 20 damage.
We really
Oh
wanted to be
god!
able to catch more people. So
Overlook
it
slash.
it might not still be the best
now
roll catch people or whatever, but at least with that bit of increased movement, you should be able to catch people from a bit further away. So that should help. His sprint attack is now 700 ms. Used to be much slower. Dealt a lot more damage. But
Dude, they're
because
just
of
like
the
literally
speed it
touching
has,
every
it was
character.
completely
You know,
useless.
showing
Like,
some love for
sad
each
to say,
character.
It really wasn't good. So
Even giving them some of them side
now,
attacks.
That damage is a lot more in line with what others.
Wait a minute. So wait,
that should work quite well.
who's the
And
only
finally,
one don't have like a
Bulwark
side
Slash.
attack but got side bash?
We've lowered its
think-
Guardbreak vulnerability to 100. Right? So that's gonna
if
be
it was-
like
if,
Kyojin and
you
some
know,
other
the,
heroes that can attack out of their down stance. And
if
the big
the,
thing here is that beforehand, if you were
Warden
against Black
2.0
Bird and you
wasn't
went to
in,
down stance,
he
you
could have
had
had
to
her
guarantee
side heavy.
every single time, because reacting to that down stance, Blackbird didn't have
But
anything
hey, it
to do
is
to
what it
actually
is.
beat
He
that
still got
Guardbreak.
the shoulder bash.
So now Blackbird does down and then
So
heavy right
majority
away.
of the cast got side
If you
attacks.
try to
It's
Guardbreak,
just
you're gonna get
what?
hit by
I
the
think
heavy unblockable. So it gives
Law
Blackbird a little
Daddy
bit more
doesn't.
safety here.
You can. I think
Lets him
you
use that attack a
side
little bit more
shoulder.
often and makes him a little bit less vulnerable as well in these kinds of situations.
Coming up, testing grounds. Okay.
Yeah.
Warmonger. That's what I was talking about.
Warmonger, right? So Warmonger.
Heavy finishers are
The Warmonger,
now gain
so,
interruptible
for heavy
stance.
finishers now gain uninterruptible stance. That's armor for people at 100 ms. It used to be much later. This is
Spray and
like
Claw
a lot more in
now
line
deals
with other
8
heroes we've been
bleed.
doing that have
Spray and Claw Stab now deals 7
and
damage.
their finishers should let
Spray
her
Claw
trade with
Slash
attacks
now
better.
deals 20 damage.
Give her a lot more
So they
safety
lower the bleed.
fights that her land was
Is
heavy.
it similar to like the
good.
Kaioshin?
And
Because
then we've been changed to Crane Claw. So Crane Claw
he try to
used to
bleed
be
you.
just
It
a
doesn't
regular bash, didn't
hurt
really
you
do
that
anything.
bad like the
Slashes through
Bushi's
the
on.
cause. So what we've
Or,
done is that
probably
Crane Claw
Peacekeepers
itself
and,
now
as a
deals
whole.
8 bleed damage up front, but we to compensate,
Yeah.
we've lowered the damage
Warmonger
of
has
the
got
stab and
the
the
Warden
slash,
2.0 if he had
by
the
8.
side that
So
side
that
attack
You
unblockable.
still deal the same amount of damage when you're doing those follow-ups, but at least you're gonna get a little bit of bleed off of the claw itself. Helps you synergize with like the bleed heroes, so like Bushi, Shaman, Peacekeeper, all that sort of stuff. So we're hoping that I'll give her a little bit more utility, maybe create some new team comps, and at the same time make the hero just better in general, having a little bit more upfront damage.
Nice. And then we save the best for last, of course.
Griffon.
Griffin?
Yeah.
The Griffin?
Yeah, right.
Griffin?
So Griffon, again.
Veterans lesson now
which
gains
is the heavy
uninterruptible.
finishers.
Wow,
He
stance.
gains
Wow,
uninterruptible
everybody getting
stance
some
at five.
uninterruptible.
Again, it's able to
I'm
trade
talking too
better.
fast.
You can have more safety
Uninterruptible
in group
stance.
fights. That works
First
quite
the
well.
Griffin,
And we've also
the
introduced a Mind Cleaver, which is
Warmonger
like
got
heavy.
an
So the
uninterruptible
missed
stance.
recoveries, are a little bit faster.
Who
and
else
you
got
now
an
gain
uninterruptible stance? I
defense
just
as
saw.
that makes them a lot safer.
Satyrion
Whenever you
is
do them,
uninterruptible when the milliseconds, you know, when he's up
they
at
can
that
be left
1,000
wide
milliseconds, no one
open
can
for
stop
a
him.
super long period of time. So now target swapping those attacks in group fights should work way better. Should have more effectiveness. So that's kind of the idea here for Griffon. So that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
That was a lot that we covered. And like,
Wow.
if you want to go back and read some other things, or if there's anything that you missed, you can always go ahead and read the patch notes over on our website.
Valkyrie changes and Tiandi changes.
So
All right, let's
Valkyrie is
go.
one of our older heroes. She doesn't have that much offense. A lot of her stuff can be dodged on one timing.
Yeah.
Sweep doesn't really work.
I really want to try
and
these
so
other
we're
wars.
really
It's
trying
just
to
like
make
I
her-
just want a
to give
nice
her
mix
better
up when it
openers
comes to being,
and
you
also
know,
to
more
give her
aggressive.
better pressure and offense in
I
general.
feel like most people on those
and for
warriors,
that, we're gonna
the
start with
old
shield
wars
crush
are
and
not
shield
as
tackle.
aggressive.
So
I think she
we've
probably
actually
beats
removed
all the old
shield
war when it
crush
comes to
in
mix
this-
up.
in this testing round and replaced it
And
with shield
Kensei
tackle.
is a
And you can
different
also reduce shield tackle from
change
back
for
dodge.
Kensei, but it's
Now
not
you can
like
back dodge
quick and
for free.
fast mix
You
up
can
for
do it from
Kensei.
this, but you can now do it
It's like a
from
nice
front
slow
dodge.
mix up pace for
So
Kensei.
if you do heavy, you can soft feint into
Because you can see it
tackle, you
coming.
can do zone, soft feint into shield tackle. Wait, it didn't work there. There we go. So
Wow, look at that change,
everywhere where you can
dude.
do shield crush, you can now use shield tackle instead. Shield tackle also now guarantees a light when it lands. It still blocks attacks like before. So there we go. You can also now dodge out of it. So that gives you a little bit more options. So that's quite interesting. And
that
what's
is
also cool with it is that now we
pretty
have
good, bro.
kind
That's
of
real
mix-up
good
that
for
we never really
Valkyries,
had
bro.
before,
I
which
always
is,
wanted to play
if
Valkyrie,
your
bro. I
opponent
really do.
Thinks that you're going to shield
Now
tackle,
I think I might go
they
in
can
and
just
hop
guard
in
break
and play her now.
to try to beat your shield tackle.
I'm still not want to play
that works.
as Conqueror,
But
bro. They
if I
need to
let my
start
heavy go and
doing
give him
some
the guard
other
break,
different type
my
of
heavy is
stuff
going to
for
land
me to
instead.
even
So we're really trying
use
to do
Conk,
something a
bro,
little
because
bit
he's not.
different here.
I
That
want a
has
nice good
more
mix
impact
up.
on Valkyrie, gives her a better
just
reason
wanna-
to shield tackle.
Nice good mix up.
And
Oh,
it's kind
excuse
of
me.
like
Up
using
there.
like a charge attack as a soft feint or something. So it's kind of interesting. And it really pushes a attack while you're defending and defend while you're attacking mindset that we really wanted to have for Valkyrie. That's super different. It feels really cool. I can't wait for people to try it out. And other thing to know is that, as usual, that light that you have here leads to sweep, leads to everything.
What? She gonna get a? She don't have a guarantee.
So
she don't get a guarantee attack after that.
Sweep a lot more often and have those mix-ups work.
Wow.
So speaking
She
of
have a
sweep,
good mix up though.
it is
She got
now
a good new
500
mix up.
milliseconds instead of 6. Should make it a lot less reactable. Should work quite much better. It no longer unbalances allies or multiple opponents, so it only really unbalances the character you are locked onto. We made that change because we have to choose between one or the other, and unbalancing allies made so that ganking when you're using sweep was much more difficult because you risked unbalancing your friends and your allies, and then they couldn't get guaranteed damage on top of it. So there's a difference here. And last but not least, the sweep follow-up is now frame advantage, right? So now if I mash light and my opponent mashes light, see, as you see here, I was able to hit them almost on the way coming back up. They can still block, right? So if I go at top light here, it's still blockable, but I have frame advantage. So it lets Valkyrie really keep the offense up. Using sweep in 1v1 situations will really help you, and keeping that frame advantage really helps Valkyrie in this position. Then we have Pouncing Thrust and Hunter Strike. So Pouncing Thrust has more range now, a lot more range. So that's quite good. And they're now all enhanced as well. So as you see here, like that's really like you're gonna get interrupted on block. That's Valkyrie really go further into her chains, be able to sweep, really initiate a lot more. Her side dodge lights, so Pouncing Thrusts now have more forward movement as well. So they used to be quite bad. I didn't really hit forward much. She didn't really move a lot. So with this, you really have a lot more forward movement. They also have more side movement, right? So if you do it like this, she moves more to the side, so that's good. And they also now have proper iframes. It's kind of hard to show here, but the idea is that with those iframes, let's go like this. Yeah. It makes it a lot easier for you to be able to dodge and properly do dodge attacks with this in group fights and a lot of different situations, so it works quite well. Then we have something for attacks. So all of her heavy attacks have more forward movement now. It doesn't really show, but one of the big things that used to happen is if you did a side light, a left light into heavy feint to guard break, it wouldn't work. You couldn't catch people because they didn't have enough forward movement. So now that those heavies have more forward movement, you reach forward a lot more. You're able to target swap, hit more opponents, works quite well. We've also updated all the trajectories on the side heavies, both neutral, chained, and finishers, to be able to hit external opponents much better. We've also slowed down the top light and chains and her finishers to 500 ms, right? So they used to be 4. So these used to be 400 ms, and the problem that we run into this is that at low level, 400 ms lights are really hard to work with. Already 500 are a little bit hard to react to for a lot of players, and we want players to at least have a chance to be able to block sometimes, right? But then when they're 400, it's a lot harder, and then at high level, the players are good enough that they're able to block top, and then if it's a side, they react and block the side, and if it's not a side, they just keep blocking top, and they still block it. So that didn't work either. So with everything at 500, it incentivizes Valkyrie to do more heavies, do more into the shield tackle type of things, but still be able to use them and not be as frustrating at low level. Last but not least, in terms of attacks, we've also normalized recoveries of all of our chain attacks to be between 700 and 800 ms everywhere. It's a bit of a quality of life change, but it really helps Valkyrie be a little bit more safe in group fights and when outnumbered. We also have zone attack. So the trajectory for the first step for zone attack is now 500 ms instead of 6. So that makes a big difference. It makes it a lot more usable. And we've also updated the trajectories for both hits. Again, so they match the weapon better. You can hit more people externally and have a lot more control over fights. And finally, the last thing we want to look at Valkyrie is Hunter's Direct, which is a sprint attack.
Bro,
so
I'm just.
Valkyrie's sprint attack now initiates.
Bro,
chains.
I'm just so
you can
quiet,
go
bro. I'm
Hunter's
all
Rush,
into this
heavy,
right now. I'm sorry.
This. And so you can do all sorts of stuff with it.
I'm
so
sorry, y'all.
It
This
really
is
helps
just.
her initiate when out of lock.
I can't believe they literally messing with majority of the whole character roster, even
But
the
that's it for
old
Valkyrie.
ones,
Next up, we're gonna look at
and
Tiandi.
try to show some love to the ones that don't have side attacks.
Now let's look at Tiandi, right? So for
I-
Tiandi,
I'm
focus on
dude.
the
I
dodge
don't know what to
specialist
say.
aspect of the hero, as well as improving the hero's offense.
I mean, it could.
Tiandi had, like,
It's
some
small
limited dodge cancels
little changes
here and
or good little
there.
changes.
Didn't live up to
Probably,
the dodge
possibly some big changes.
On top of that, is
The majority of most of
offense
those
was a little
characters,
bit
bro.
lacking.
I'm
It was
just.
difficult to open up people
I'm
and
lost
get
at
into-
words,
get into
dude.
the
I never
really
thought they was gonna have a Warriors den to
Also
just
trying
to
to
mess
look
with
at
majority of the whole cast like
So
that.
first up, we have Flow Like Water, basically.
Oh my
recovery.
god, dude.
So
I'm.
Tiandi can now.
There's a lot
recover
of stuff
cancel.
happening right now in the gaming industry that I'm
Every
really
single attack
loving
into a
right now.
dodge at
I never
300
thought the day they were gonna
strength
mess with most of the Warriors like
into a
this.
dodge. You can
I
do heavy,
did not
you can do
know
heavy into a dodge if you want.
They were gonna mess
you
with
can
the
even
Warriors
do it
like
off
this.
Of, like, Palm Strike or Dragon
Now
Strike.
majority of the whole cast got some
So,
type of side
essentially, we
attack.
really wanted to
Either
have
it's a side
Tiandi be able
unblockable
to
or a side
really,
attack.
really be a good specialist.
Everybody is solid right
having
now, dude.
Dodge cancels.
Everybody
they're
is
good
solid
for
right
dodge
now.
Cancels. They're being at 3, Pirate and the Witcher at 2, and Defenders at 3.
They making some
So we're really trying
changes.
to, like, find a
This is
little
what I
common-
like.
Common ground for these.
This is
so
what I like.
is really
This is
interesting.
what I like. This is
Works
what I like
quite
when they
well
start messing with
and
the
gives a lot of-
Warriors. Even though they got
Next
the
up, we
hero
have Palm
skins and the new
Strike. So Palm
variation
Strike used
skins.
to be on backwalk
I
and
like how they like to
recovery.
mess with most of the
You
cast.
can
That's
actually
the
now put it
thing,
on
and it
front
was
dodge
showing some
recovery.
Nusha love.
The reason for that being that at low level,
In the future, I hope Nusha is one of those characters they need to change when it comes to the deflect attack because people still block
They're really
that.
hard to react to at low level, but they're also fully reactable at high level. And so that makes them not very good. They're okay as interrupt tools, kind of, but not really. So we really wanted to have it be in a much more standardized position. So from dodge guard break works quite well. And the other cool thing with that is that because it's now in front dodge, you can do interesting mix-ups like dodge cancels your attack into palm strike, reset your chain, keep going to what you have.
That's nice.
So
That's
Tiandi
nice,
really,
bro.
really goes much further with this.
It's real nice for the
It might
Tiandi.
look like a strange change for some, but we really feel that having that off of that dodge really opens up Tiandi.
That is a nice change
We've also
for
removed the unique
Tiandi,
follow-up it
dude.
had. So when you do on live, when you do a palm strike, you used to have a heavy follow-up that was armored,
Yeah.
top only.
Okay.
You could target swap, but it was a bit weird. And the problem with that move was that because it had like strange properties where it couldn't be parried. If the palm strike landed and you did that heavy against your opponent, the opponent that the palm strike landed on, that attack was unparryable. So that was kind of hard to read. And the other real niche move that it had was that it could kind of trade with dodge attacks if somebody was doing a dodge attack against your palm strike, for example. But because you now have access to both dodge cancels here, if you want to dodge attack somebody who dodged it, then you can do that.
Wow.
You can also, if you still want that armor somewhere,
Most of
you
his
can
moves
dodge
can
cancel
dodge.
dodge
He
heavy,
can
which
dodge
still has
cancel out
armor.
of now. That
So you
is.
can like do
Wow.
palm target swap.
Tiandi's
dodge
gonna
heavy,
be pretty
do all that sort of
solid
thing.
to
So that still works
this
quite
season,
well.
dude.
So we really felt
Most
like
his
that
moves
specific
dodgeable,
attack
dodge
was never
cancelable.
necessary, as it forced Tiandi down a very specific
I believe
path.
those. And definitely when it
the
comes
last
to
thing
gang
that we have with
situations,
Palm Strike is that
when you want
actually now
to
leads
hit,
to
no,
heavy
just
finishers.
slide a character
You
on
can
the
change
the
your
opponent
stances
player,
too as well. So you
and
can
another
do
player
like a
come in,
heavy
you just
finisher or heavy finisher,
with your
things you like.
mindset of
So
the
now you
new
can
look of
actually do
Tiandi,
this
you can
and
just
hit
dodge
somebody on the
stuff,
side with a trajectory
and
if
he
you
might
like.
get hit by his
Whereas before
opponent,
it was
his
impossible. So we really
team
want to
player.
get
That give you a way
a
of
lot
attack,
more
probably another
viability
chance
in
to
those
hit the
outnumbered
opponent. The opponent,
situations, be able to
if that
use
those
heavy
type of
finishers, hit people
situations,
externally, and
scenarios.
that. So next up we have Dragon Kick, right? So
Dragon Kick
was a bit of a weird move in that, yeah, you kick on a ledge with it. You can
Yeah.
push somebody into a wall.
They
and
push very
follow
far
up.
when they get hit by it.
Luckily, get it like land a kick on somebody, lands next one of your allies to get a
And
heavy
boy,
on.
you can sure
But
get
it's
some
still,
free
like, in
damage
most
if you
situations, it was
if your
actually
opponent's
better for
around, if your
defenders
team
to
players
get
around.
hit by the Dragon Kick or react to Tiandi rather, doing a soft feint dodge or whatever. So we've done two things to really help remedy this, right? So Dragon Kick can now be feinted, So you can just straight up feint dragon kick.
Ooh, that is
if you like,
nuts.
catch dodge attacks.
Ooh, that's scary.
And also now,
Ooh,
a
that's scary.
dedicated follow-up on heavy attack.
As a Tiandi
So
man,
that every
oh
time
man.
you do land the dragon kick, you do get a heavy attack.
What?
So now there's an actual incentive to
He get a guaranteed attack after.
deal with it and do something instead of just taking it and just taking
Wow.
damage or very little damage.
So you can actually get an
really
attack
try
from
to
him
get
now.
Dragon Kick to be a much more threatening move for Tiandi.
That is definitely a
And
more
then
threatening
have
move now.
Side dragon dodges.
Because just imagine the gank in this situation now.
1100 MS, so that's
3 heavy
super
attacks on
slow.
top of the Tiandi's
Because,
attack
like, it was
coming
really
up.
difficult to really
It's similar to
bashes and like faster attacks with side dragon dodges.
Centurion.
side dodge
I
heavy,
say
for
when
example.
you push the opponent
the
down with
problem that we
Centurion,
started
let the
having
opponent
is
get
that because it's so
your
slow,
team
a
player
lot
get
of bashes
a
will
couple of
just
attacks,
miss,
and that's when you
would
come
do
in
that
with the
move,
attack with yours.
And then
You
your
know,
opponent will be
add
able to
little,
block in
you
time
know,
almost
spice,
instantly.
you know, to it.
With them being faster, they're now 800 MS, so they should be able to catch a lot more bashes when you dodge them. At the
Ow, dude.
But to do that, we also remove the extended dodge properties because it's faster. Having extended dodge properties on that move is kind of crazy. You were able to like side dodge quite a bit.
Ooh, that
It
was smooth.
super strong. We've also lowered the side movement a little bit. It's still good, but it's a little bit less. But
Okay,
as
okay.
Alex in front of me,
His side dash, his side dodges is very, very,
you
very.
can still soft feint it, right?
Yeah,
You
his
put
side
dodge.
heavy
So, and
dodge
you can
is
still feint the attack
it's
as
just
well.
so flamboyant, bro. It's
not
smooth,
the
though.
move changed a little bit. You can still use it in a lot of situations, but it should now be actually useful at beating bashes. And like we've seen, you can do
This
like
is
really
nuts,
crazy
dude.
shenanigans where you do side dodge heavy into front dodge palm into a lot of stuff. So again, this really opens up Tiandi quite a bit to do a lot of crazy, interesting shenanigans there and goes on. So the last things we want to look at are quality of life changes on Tiandi. So first up is finishers on when you're out of lock are now side attacks. They used to be top. So you can heavy there. So that should help Tiandi get a much better minion clear without having to resort to having like dodge cancels or sort of stuff. You can now go and just mash heavies on the side and be able to
This
get
is like,
better,
you know,
lane clear.
minion situation
We've also
wise.
improved the trajectories for the side heavy finishers. It's kind of hard to show right now, but they're way better at catching external opponents. Again, they match the weapon better as well, so it's a big improvement there.
Where he
for
can
Tiandi.
boot.
And we've also removed all the stamina damage and stamina pauses on all of his bashes. So on Palm, on Dragon Kick, there's no longer stamina damage or pause. We also removed the stun on Dragon Kick because it didn't really do anything. So it's a lot of like small changes for quality of life, and then the other changes which don't seem like much will really help the character feel a lot like have much better flow, better offense, better defense. So hopefully the character will be much stronger in this future.
That is.
So now we're gonna look at counter guard break changes. All right, so now we're gonna look at counter guard break changes finally.
Really?
So we've done a small change where whenever you counter guard break, you now have frame advantage for 1 frame, right?
Okay.
And we also push opponents a little bit less far. So I'm gonna guard break Alex here. You counter guard break, right? So we're pushed a little bit less far, but also the person that did the counter guard break has frame advantage for 1 frame. That might not seem like a big change, but what it does do is that, let's say I'm gonna guard break Alex, he's gonna counter guard break, and then I'm gonna mash guard break, and he's gonna throw a heavy, and let's see what happens. See, so on live right now, so you saw that I did a guard break, I fully buffered it. My guard break bounced and the heavy landed, right? So what this does is that 1 frame of frame advantage lets your opponent, lets the person that did the counter guard break, throw out anything but a light or a guard break. You can do like other options, but basically the idea is that like right now on live, whenever somebody guard breaks, if your opponent counter guard breaks, the only thing either player can do is throw a light, because guard break will catch anything else. It'll catch heavies, it'll catch dodges, it'll catch absolutely everything. And so it makes it that you end up becoming very predictable, and guard break becomes a very good tool to really stop offense here. Whereas now, when you manage to successfully counter guard break, you have more options. It doesn't mean that you don't get guaranteed damage or anything, but you have more options. It makes you less predictable.
You get a chance to attack,
and so it doesn't make sure that you're always going to throw a light. That then you know it's a light, you can always parry it, and you get into that route where, especially at a high level, guard breaks were becoming a problem, and people would just like mash guard break all the time.
Yeah.
And the only thing you could really do is either light or guard break, and it didn't quite work. So with this change, you can really land heavies afterwards. You can do a lot of different things. And the other thing you can do is that you can do, we'll show it with Alex right now. If I throw a guard break and he counter guard breaks, I'm gonna try to back roll, and you'll see that he can mash guard break to actually catch my back roll. So let's look at it this way. See, so I tried to back roll here, and his guard break caught me. So it means that it's much harder to also to defend yourself with a dodge or with different options after your opponent counters your guard break. We did this so we want to have guard breaks still be useful in the game, right? They're still very good. They still guarantee heavies, none of that changed. But we want it to be that there is a little bit of risk associated to it, and the person that actually successfully defended has a bit more of an advantage. So that's going to be it for testing grounds. I really want to give a big shout out to Alex.
Wow, dude, this is
he can only be my
so much.
right now. So, but thank you very much. We had technical issues where he couldn't join the video with me and be on the audio call, but he graciously accepted to be there with me so we can record this session. So thank you, Alex, and we'll see you guys back into the Warriors then. Thank you.
And there we have it, JC.
Wow.
Thank you so much to you and Alex for being able to go through that. Everything looks super awesome. Do you have like any final thoughts you want to share before
That's gonna be it. I was just going over the Warriors, you know, changes. These boys and girls got dodge attacks now. This is just wow. This is just crazy, dude. I never expect this type of Warriors then at all. Anyways, y'all, I'm gone. Now, y'all have a nice blessed day. I'm tired of reacting. I really am. And I already Street Fighter is finna do a digital event in a couple more hours. What time is this? 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh Lord Jesus. Oh Lord. I'm going, y'all. I'm out.